In recent years, few names in global entertainment have commanded as much attention and influence as Jungkook, the youngest member of the South Korean group BTS. While Hollywood has long been considered the central hub of the global entertainment industry, the emergence of Jungkook as a powerful soloist brand ambassador and cultural icon has disrupted traditional structures of stardom. His influence stretches across music, fashion, digital platforms, and brand partnerships, challenging the dominance of American stars who once monopolized global attention. This explores one central reason why Jungkook is perceived as one of the most feared figures in Hollywood: his ability to redefine global stardom in a way that undermines Hollywood's long-standing monopoly. By examining his digital presence, streaming power, fashion dominance, global reach, and brand impact, it becomes clear that Jungkook represents a new model of celebrity that Hollywood struggles to replicate or compete with. Jungkook's redefinition of global stardom. Hollywood traditionally set the rules for global fame. Stars were created through the US entertainment infrastructure, supported by film studios, music labels, and media outlets that dictated what audiences consumed. However, Jungkook has shown that stardom no longer depends on Hollywood's machinery. Instead, he has constructed an entirely different pathway, one based on direct global engagement, digital dominance, and cultural fluidity. This redefinition of stardom is what makes Jungkook particularly threatening to Hollywood. American stars rely on the US system of media promotion, but Jungkook thrives in an ecosystem where fans and audiences are decentralized. His success demonstrates that a star can bypass traditional Hollywood platforms and still dominate global markets. For Hollywood, this represents a loss of control and influence. Streaming power and chart domination. Jungkook's dominance on digital platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube is a central factor in why he is feared in Hollywood. The music industry in the US has historically depended on physical album sales, radio airplay, and promotional deals to push artists into mainstream success. Jungkook, however, has proven that streaming dominance can be achieved without Hollywood's conventional gatekeepers. His singles have consistently charted globally, setting records for fastest streams, longest chart runs, and high placements on the Billboard Hot 100. Unlike many Hollywood artists who depend heavily on radio promotion in the United States, Jungkook achieves results through sheer fan-driven momentum and global digital consumption. This undermines the US system, where labels invest millions into promotion. Hollywood stars and executives fear this model because it shows that Korean artists or any international artist can outperform US acts without following the American blueprint. For Hollywood, this signals not only a shift in music consumption, but also a threat to the dominance of US cultural exports. Social media and direct-to-fan influence. Hollywood stars often rely on traditional media appearances, interviews, and award shows to maintain their public image. Jungkook, however, operates with an entirely different model: direct-to-fan engagement. His presence on platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and Weverse ensures that his influence is unfiltered and global. This level of digital intimacy creates an unprecedented bond with fans. Jungkook's posts, even when casual, generate millions of interactions within hours. In comparison, many Hollywood stars struggle to achieve similar organic engagement, even when supported by marketing campaigns. The threat here is structural. Hollywood cannot replicate this kind of engagement because its stars are mediated by studios, labels, and PR teams that control access. Jungkook's direct line to his audience reduces the need for traditional promotion, destabilizing Hollywood's reliance on media infrastructure, fashion, and brand power. Beyond music, Jungkook has become a defining figure in the fashion industry, particularly through his collaboration with Calvin Klein. Hollywood stars often use fashion partnerships to extend their influence, but Jungkook's role as a global fashion icon surpasses standard celebrity endorsement. Unlike typical Hollywood ambassadors, Jungkook generates not only media attention but measurable economic impact. His campaigns with Calvin Klein consistently trend worldwide, drive spikes in sales, and influence fashion discourse. The fashion industry, once centered in Paris, Milan, and Hollywood-centric red carpets, now finds itself adapting to an East Asian-centered wave of influence, led by Jungkook. Hollywood stars are overshadowed in this space because Jungkook combines global music dominance with fashion influence. He is not merely a face for a brand, he is a cultural driver who redefines aesthetics and trends. This makes him a rare figure who can compete simultaneously in music and fashion at a scale Hollywood stars rarely achieve. Global reach beyond borders. Perhaps the most significant reason Jungkook is feared in Hollywood is his global reach. Hollywood celebrities often struggle to expand beyond Western markets. Their fame is concentrated in North America and Europe, with limited penetration in Asia, Africa, or Latin America. Jungkook, however, operates on a truly global scale. As a Korean artist, he has deep roots in Asia, but his presence in the West is equally strong. His ability to chart on Billboard, dominate Spotify playlists, and appear in mainstream US talk shows demonstrates his Western appeal. At the same time, he maintains powerful cultural relevance in Asia, where his influence often surpasses that of Hollywood stars. This dual strength makes Jungkook a rare global figure who transcends linguistic, cultural, and geographic barriers. Hollywood stars, by contrast, often depend on Hollywood media infrastructure to project their fame globally. Jungkook proves that such structures are no longer necessary, reducing Hollywood's gatekeeping power. Disruption of the Hollywood-centric model. The core reason Hollywood fears Jungkook is not simply his talent, but his disruption of its monopoly. Hollywood has always dictated who becomes a global star. With Jungkook, this system is no longer absolute. His rise shows that stars can be built outside of Hollywood, succeed without its endorsement, and still dominate markets that Hollywood depends on. For Hollywood executives, this raises an existential problem. If Korean stars like Jungkook can dominate music, fashion, and global digital spaces without Hollywood, then Hollywood's cultural export power is diminished. This is why Jungkook is perceived as a threat, not only as an individual competitor, but as proof of a new system where Hollywood is no longer the center of global stardom. Conclusion. Jungkook is one of the most feared stars in Hollywood because he represents the collapse of Hollywood's traditional monopoly on global fame. His streaming power, direct fan engagement, fashion dominance, and global reach prove that stars can rise without Hollywood's infrastructure. For an industry that has long relied on its ability to manufacture and export stardom, Jungkook's success signals a profound disruption. In the past, Hollywood dictated the global entertainment narrative. Today, Jungkook demonstrates that cultural power can emerge from beyond Hollywood and still dominate the world stage. This is the central reason he is not just admired, but feared in Hollywood. Hollywood artists who compete in the same digital space recognize the risk. Every time Jungkook releases new music, their projects are overshadowed in terms of visibility and chart dominance. This creates an environment where Hollywood stars must adjust their release strategies, knowing that his presence can disrupt their market share. Fashion. In fashion, Jungkook's influence is not superficial. His collaboration with Calvin Klein has transformed the brand's engagement with younger demographics, setting record-breaking visibility metrics online. Fashion houses that once depended on Hollywood stars for visibility now shift their attention toward him, recognizing his ability to generate global trends rather than simply wear clothing on red carpets. Hollywood celebrities, who traditionally enjoyed dominance as fashion ambassadors, face a decline in relevance when competing with Jungkook's campaigns, which create measurable spikes in sales and digital engagement. Branding and endorsements. Hollywood stars frequently secure endorsements as extensions of their public identity. However, Jungkook's endorsements are different in scale and impact. His presence in campaigns generates viral attention across continents, something most Hollywood stars achieve only in Western markets. Brands prefer figures like Jungkook because he delivers measurable return on investment across diverse geographies. Hollywood stars, by contrast, provide limited geographic influence, especially outside the US and Europe. This makes them less competitive against Jungkook in an era where global consumer bases matter more than regional dominance. The threat of a global archetype. Hollywood's fear of Jungkook extends beyond individual achievements. He represents a new archetype of the global star, one who seamlessly integrates music, fashion, branding, and social media. Unlike Hollywood celebrities, who often specialize in one domain, Jungkook demonstrates that a single figure can dominate multiple industries simultaneously. This archetype is threatening because it sets a new standard that Hollywood stars struggle to replicate. For example, an American actor may dominate the box office but lack global music relevance. A musician may chart in the US but lack influence in fashion. Jungkook's ability to cross all these boundaries demonstrates that Hollywood's segmented model of stardom is outdated. Hollywood's structural limitations. The fear Hollywood celebrities experience in relation to Jungkook stems partly from the structural limitations of the Hollywood system. The US entertainment industry separates its stars into categories: actors, musicians, models, and influencers with limited crossover. This segmentation prevents most stars from achieving Jungkook's type of global versatility. Jungkook, on the other hand, was developed within the K-pop system, which emphasizes multi-dimensional talent. From an early stage, he was trained not only in singing, but also in dancing, performing, fashion presentation, and digital engagement. This training produced an artist who is naturally suited to thrive in diverse industries simultaneously. Hollywood stars, who were never cultivated this way, find themselves at a disadvantage when competing on a global scale. Impact on Hollywood's economy of attention. The entertainment industry operates on attention. In Hollywood, securing attention translates into box office sales, music charting, endorsement contracts, and media coverage. Jungkook threatens Hollywood because he absorbs an outsized share of this global attention. For example, a Jungkook airport appearance trends worldwide, overshadowing Hollywood premieres. A Jungkook fashion campaign dominates discourse on social media, limiting visibility for US-based campaigns. A Jungkook single launch disrupts streaming patterns, reducing opportunities for Hollywood artists to secure top chart positions. This monopolization of global attention forces Hollywood to compete on uneven terms. While Hollywood stars depend on promotional budgets and carefully timed campaigns, Jungkook can generate equal or greater attention with minimal effort. Case studies of disruption. Billboard competition. Jungkook's entries into the Billboard Hot 100 have historically challenged top American artists. For example, his singles have entered charts with streaming and digital download numbers that rival or surpass major Hollywood musicians. This disruption highlights how US artists, who once dominated Billboard almost exclusively, now share space with a Korean artist whose promotional infrastructure is outside Hollywood. Calvin Klein campaigns. When Calvin Klein launched campaigns featuring Jungkook, the brand experienced global visibility spikes. Hollywood stars who once carried similar campaigns could not match this performance. This indicates that the entertainment and fashion industries no longer see Hollywood stars as the automatic first choice for brand visibility. Digital platforms. Jungkook's dominance on TikTok demonstrates how Hollywood stars have fallen behind in adapting to new media ecosystems. His clips trend across continents, while Hollywood celebrities often rely on staged or PR-generated content. The difference in engagement highlights the shift in digital influence away from Hollywood. Long-term implications for Hollywood. If Jungkook continues his trajectory, the long-term implications for Hollywood are profound. The industry risks losing its monopoly over global stardom. Hollywood artists will increasingly find themselves competing not only with one another, but with figures like Jungkook, whose careers are not bound by Hollywood's traditional systems. This shift could reduce Hollywood's bargaining power in brand deals, music promotion, and cultural exports. For Hollywood stars, this means facing diminished opportunities and increased competition in areas where they once had uncontested dominance.